let's keep going. So we'll go to Matthew 23. It gets a little bit better picture. This is Jesus speaking here. Jesus, in Matthew 23, verse 13, he says this, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You shut the door on the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea and to win a single convert, and then when you have succeeded, you make them twice as much a child of hell as you are." Jesus is not happy with the religion of the time. Jesus is not happy with the people teaching about God at the time. You know, I want to just kind of paint this picture a little bit. You know, Judaism at this point had kind of broken up into four main groups. You had the Pharisees, who mainly had the most interaction with Jesus. They were really the ones in charge. The chief priests and all that kind of stuff. They were all the Pharisees. They had the power, they had the money, they had the positions. They were the guys influencing the most. And they had become extremely legalistic. And let's just be honest with you. The Pharisees, their number one goal was to stay in power, stay in control. So you got Herod trying to stay in power and stay in control. And then you got the Pharisees trying to do the same thing. The next group is the Sadducees. The Sadducees were all about Mosaic law. So really what they held to was mainly like what you'd find in Genesis through Deuteronomy, all about Moses and his law. Not so much about some of the traditions that the Pharisees were trying to push forward. The Essenes, they were probably the best group, to be honest with you. They're the ones that did the Dead Sea Scrolls. If you kind of know about that, it's the ancient manuscripts that were found. That was this group. They were very actually devoted and very religious. Their focus was to actually get rid of the Romans. But then you had the Zealots, and the Zealots were just kind of the crazy that they would say, like, we're really Jewish, but really what we want to do is kill Romans. And they wanted to violently execute and get rid of the Romans. But all these groups are just kind of fighting amongst themselves. But what we see happening here, and just like with Herod and the political culture, is you have people that were absent of godly direction. Then you have the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all these other people that are supposed to be giving godly direction. But their godly direction and their religious world was then absent of God's love. So they wanted to tell everybody about what God wanted. Do this, do that, don't do this, be here, give me this, don't give me that. But there was no love involved. And so they promoted God and they pushed God and they talked about God, but they never talked about God's love. So you have a world absent of godly direction, and then you have a world absent of godly love. This is the world that Jesus came into. You know,